Welcome to the Love Hub channel, where we give relationship advice to women and discuss matters of the heart. In today's episode, we are going to talk about how you can forgive someone who hurt you. And remember, the Love Hub is a judgment-free zone. We support all women here. We are your safe space. Now let's get to the topic. Tip number 1. Get mad, feel hurt, and grieve. When someone hurts you, grief and anger are natural and healthy responses, and there's no set time for how long it takes to work through and process the hurt. Forgiveness is allowing negative feelings of outrage and grief to come in, and then letting them go because you're now at peace with your life. It's like a long, slow exhale of all the pain and hurt. Getting hurt by others is unfortunately inevitable. It feels lousy, and sometimes that bad feeling lasts and lasts for a long time. But for you to be better, for you to be able to move on and experience other positive and happy emotions, you have to learn to forgive. Tip 2. Ask yourself whether your anger is constructive or destructive. Constructive anger solves a problem in the moment by galvanizing you so that you respond appropriately to a threat. Destructive anger is repetitive and it has no positive result. The person you're angry at isn't changing, and you're not growing. In fact, you're creating brain pathways that make the anger more likely. When anger becomes a habit rather than a way of processing, or when you hold on to it for a really long time, it turns out to be destructive both to your physical well-being and to the people around you. No good comes of it. It's a misuse of one of our biological coping mechanisms. Tip 3. Don't worry, you aren't saying the offense was okay. One of the biggest misconceptions about forgiveness is that it means you're condoning the offender's behavior. In fact, forgiveness means that you don't condone it. It's the exact opposite. You know it's wrong or inappropriate, but you choose to cleanse your heart. You don't make excuses for the behavior. You just accept it and make peace. That's very different from condoning. So, if you want to forgive someone, set yourself free. They say you only live once, so forgive and forget. Tip 4. Practice stress reduction techniques. If you're at the table and a family member says something hurtful, one of the simplest things you can do is to take a couple of breaths. Stress management techniques soothe your body's fight or flight response, so you stay calm and keep your head. Practice stress reduction techniques so that you can control yourself whenever you are starting to get mad at someone. Tip 5. Remind yourself why you want this person in your life. When someone you care about acts in a way that is hurtful to you, but you want to keep the relationship, it's important to remember the good the person has done for your life. People are not replaceable. It's important to remind yourself that you have one father, one mother, one best friend. This doesn't mean people should stick around for mistreatment or stay in a bad or toxic relationship. It does mean that successful relationships are hard to cultivate and maintain if you're holding grudges, keeping score, or thinking about ways to make someone pay for something he or she did. Tip 6. Set boundaries. When you've been hurt by someone you have a relationship with, some gentle boundary setting may be in order, but that doesn't mean calling people out, blaming them, or disowning them. Learn how to simply say, "What you just did is not okay." Remember, it's important to set boundaries for yourself. You need to protect yourself and your peace of mind. So please learn how to set boundaries and don't be afraid or embarrassed that you have to. Tip 7. Recognize that you're telling a story that can be changed. Our brains are designed to keep us safe from danger, and so a lot of the stories we tell ourselves are not accurate. We simplify to accentuate the threat. We create these distortions in our head to keep us safe. The quickest way to forgive is to change the story. So, if you've been telling yourself a story that 5 years ago your friend didn't invite you to her wedding, and it was a terrible offense that you're still smarting over, consider that perhaps the two of you were in a rough patch and she may have made a mistake, but that at the end she did the best that she could. This doesn't mean believing in lies or making up lies or stories in your head. This just means that you look back on some hurtful experiences in your life and try to see it from a different angle. Try to see it from the person's point of view because your story is just one side. There is another side to this. It doesn't mean that someone is purposely trying to hurt you. It doesn't mean that they hate you. It could be that they are hurting too, and that this was just all a terrible misunderstanding. Again, this is not about making up lies. It's about looking back and seeing things from a different perspective. Tip 8. Make yourself the hero. Attributing your present distress to something that happened in the past is a way of making yourself a victim. When you tell yourself, the only one who is going to rescue me is me, that creates a kind of heroic effect that says, I have to solve this problem. I have to figure out how to be okay and be happy. When you can do that, you gain a sense of your own resilience. When one is able to forgive, it leads to a little more efficacy in handling one's life. Instead of being limited or afraid, you get a sense of, I know I can cope with difficulty, or I'm strong, I can handle this. That's probably the biggest personal benefit. These are just some of the ways that you can forgive someone who hurt you. Remember, we only get to live once. Don't waste a huge chunk of your life hating someone or being angry at the past hurt that you've experienced. You need to move on because you deserve to move on. You deserve to be happy and free from any pain and anger that is holding you back. So take some deep breaths, look forward, and move on. We're so excited that you are here with the Love Hub channel, and we can't wait to see you in our next episode. Until next time.